Leicester City are back in the northwest. This time it is Lancashire on a rainy Sunday morning here in Blackburn. Fast with the header, fast with the goal. What a start for Leicester City. The first goal here at Ewood Park goes to the visitors. Blackburn 0, Leicester City 1. Didi squaring it to Vardy, controls left footed, the cube angle, brilliant goal! Oh, it's Vardy at his best! And it's Leicester at their best, playing it the Enzo way. Iheanacho steps up and scores another away from home in front of the Blue Army. And he's got there first. Brilliant! Superb from Leicester City. Top of the table once again this evening.
Yeah, what a victory that was at the weekend at Ewood Park. And it's from one Lancashire club to another as Preston North End are here at King Power Stadium this evening. Welcome along to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub with me, Dan Bates. We've got Matt Elliott and Ewan Roberts in the studio with me now. Before we speak to either of those two, let's get all of tonight's team news as kickoff is just an hour away, of course. And Enzo Maresca, from that victory at the weekend, has decided to make one change, and that was enforced as Yannick Vestergaard is suspended this evening after picking up his 5th yellow card of the season at Ewood Park. Connor Cody replaces him to make his first league start of the season. This is the Leicester City squad then. Hermanson in goal, Justin, Cody, Fass, Ricardo across the back four, with Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi in midfield, and Mavididi and Fatawu either side of Jamie Vardy, of course, starting to bang in the goals as we all knew that he would, of course. On the bench for Leicester today, Stolarczyk, Cassidy, Iheanacho, Suter, Albrighton, Chowdhury, Daka, Younis and Marçal. From a Preston point of view, Ryan Lowe and his side probably couldn't believe their eyes at the weekend. They were beaten 4-0 at home to West Brom. Before that game, they had the second meanest defence in the league after Leicester. The Liverpool-born manager will be hoping it was just a blip as he makes 4 changes to that side. In comes Whiteman, who captains the side tonight, Watmore, Brady and Cunningham. Here's their 11. It's Woodman in goal, Cunningham, Lindsay and Watmore across the back 3, with Brady and Potts as the 2 wing-backs. Whiteman and McCann in midfield, with Liam Miller and Holmes in behind Osmanic up front for Preston tonight. Welcome along to Ewan Roberts and to Matt Elliott, 2 former Leicester City cult heroes, we'd say, fan favourites, and still are to this day. You put a tweet up tonight, Ewan, about the fact that you're here and doing your stuff for us, and straight away one of the replies is your Leicester City song.
It is. I'm not at the same level as the big man that I'm sat next to. I mean, he's a proper Leicester City legend.
He's not nice to me very often, is he? But icons, I'm thinking we were.
Oh, you're an absolute
Are we not
icon?
icons?
Absolute icon. Still are, mate.
We get called all sorts of spectacular things, and none of them true, but still nice to get a little bit of a...
Yeah, you're certainly a cult hero, and you can't deny that if they still sing a song about you.
I must have done something right, Dan.
A multi-cult hero, aren't you?
Yeah.
Pardon?
You're a multi-cult hero all over the shop, aren't you? Different clubs, aren't you? But
a few.
Leicester as much as any, isn't it?
I did enjoy my time here.
I certainly haven't got my own song.
Have you not?
No, not like you, anyway.
Still not?
Not personalised, anyway.
Right, we've got plenty coming up here on Matchday Live as we build up to kick-off. But we've also got a special guest joining us on Matchday Live this evening. We're going to look back, of course, at that game at Ewood Park at the weekend, in particular that fantastic Jamie Vardy strike, and what a team goal that was. We'll look back at some of the best goals scored in September, of course. Wilfred Ndidi, that 33-pass move, probably one of the favourites. And as we've said, we've got Guillaume Balaguer live in the studio with us. He sat down with Enzo Maresca earlier in the season. He's a big fan of the way that he and Leicester are playing, and he's certainly we're his second team, clearly. At the moment, he joins us at around about 7:10, which thankfully is when Matt Elliott and his grey hoodie will leave us.
Hopefully he's dressed a bit smarter than me.
7:10 as well, of course. Right.
A scruffy oaf on the settee here.
He was right, by the way, to mark out Enzo Maresca at the beginning of the season as a manager to watch, because his Leicester City side have made an unbelievable start to the Championship season.
Yeah, listen, most people are aware of that by now, certainly Leicester City followers, but I think as soon as it was mentioned that I wouldn't say it was cloak and dagger, but I didn't hear it spoken about much, but then his appointment came and everyone was like, wow, where's that come from? It was a little bit unexpected, wasn't it, from memory? I might be slightly wrong. But soon as Enzo Maresca's name was mentioned, partly because of his association to Guardiola, you have to be honest about that, but also how he spoke and how he carries himself. Straight away came to the Seagrave, the training ground, did the interview, and people were captivated by him, I think. And it certainly seems like the players were, and are as well. And, new era, a new regime, for want of a better word, but new beginnings and new ideas as well. And I think the players are excited by it as well. And you've seen that. There's very little hangover from the relegation in terms of the players and the supporters, and it's gone better than you could have imagined. So there's lots to be carried away with.
I can imagine him walking or turning left towards the new training ground and thinking, there's not many that have got better facilities than Man City, but this is one of them. I think he could have had a job for life at Man City while Pep was there, in all honesty. I think it had to be a really
exciting
challenge for him to leave. Not that he was in a comfort zone there, but he was at a top club working under a top head coach, where he was learning all the time, with a fantastic squad of players to work with. I think it had to be a really good, attractive job for him to leave Man City. And I think he saw, I wouldn't say potential, because that's the wrong word. I think he looked at everything inclusively with Leicester City and thought, that is the job for me. And he's been fantastic from day one.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the results on the pitch, of course, Sunday made it 8 wins from 9 at the start of this championship season. And what a performance at Ewood Park it was.
Hall takes a short corner up the far side touchline, sent in by Fatou. Went fast with the header, went fast with the goal. What a start for Leicester City from the first corner of the game. A short one taken all the way through to this near side, where Fass rose inside the 6-yard area, planted there to back across the face of the goal. And this is Travis, and this is Schmodix onto his left foot, equaliser for Blackburn. Well, Leicester were warned a moment ago, tried to play it inside the penalty area. They've done it straight away again. Winks claiming he was fouled, but Blackburn taking the advantage.
On the counter.
It's Ndidi squaring it to Vardy, controls left-footed, acute angle, brilliant goal! Oh, it's Vardy at his best, and it's Leicester at their best, playing it the Enzo way. It was a switch of play from Mavididi out to Fatou, down the line, and Ndidi making the diagonal run. Fizzed in first time, looked like there was too much on it for Vardy, but he's brought it under control, and he smashed it into the roof of the net. Iheanacho, goals in 2 away games this season, steps up and scores another away from home in front of the Blue Army, who celebrate Leicester's third. And surely another 3 points on the road as he sends it to the left as we look. The goalkeeper going the other way. And here's Yunus for Leicester, rampaging down the left. Dewsbury Hall pointing for the ball to be played to him, and he's got there first. Oh, brilliant. Superb from Leicester City. Yunus spotting the run of Dewsbury Hall. He pointed exactly where he wanted it, left of the penalty area. And as the goalkeeper Walstead comes sliding out, Dewsbury Hall calmly chips the ball over the onrushing goalkeeper.
Yeah, 4-1, another fantastic away performance at Ewood Park at the weekend. Hopefully there'll be a similar performance this evening against another Lancashire side, of course, in Preston. You can watch all of the action with us wherever you are in the world, including here in the UK, of course, on Fox's Hub. You can get yourself a Game Pass if you just want to watch tonight's game, of course. There are also other options available either monthly or seasonally, but you can, as we said, just get a Game Pass for tonight's game. For all the details of how much that costs and how you can get it, all you need to do is head to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. You can continue watching our build up there, and also we'll have the full game available for you at home as well, which is very exciting. And hopefully, as we're saying, Ewan, we'll see a repeat of what we saw on Sunday, because Leicester were rampant at times. Some they look a little bit in the game, but they really did look the most comfortable.
I mean, it looked a comfortable win in the end, didn't it? And 4-1 scoreline, exactly what it was at Southampton. I mean, I'm really enjoying watching Leicester playing away from home. I love the counter-attacking goals that they've scored. You know, 1 at Norwich, 2 on Sunday at Ewood Park, 1 against Southampton. We spoke about the pace and the threat that they have in forward areas. You know, away from home, 100% record. I mean, scored 18 goals this season. 13 have come on the road. Only scored 5 here at the King Power. It doesn't matter how many you score as long as you're winning games. I mean, the confidence in that home dressing room must be absolutely sky high, and they will look at these next 2 home games before the international break. And I think if you could get 4 points from 2 home games, I think that would be a reasonable tally. In all fairness, if you can get 2 wins, open the gap between, keep churning results out. You know, open the gap between themselves, Ipswich, who had a fantastic result, beating Hull 3-0 last night. You know, great signs, Dan, really great signs.
Yeah, they'll simply be saying, win again tonight, they go top of the league, Matt. You were there on Sunday, of course, for that performance. Okay, penalty aside, the 3 goals were really good to watch in completely different ways, weren't they?
Yeah, high quality efforts, like you say. We'll take your pick out of those 3, really. I suppose the ball from Ndidi stood out for me, and the touch finish from Vardy, vintage Vardy. That was wonderful counter-attacking play. But you know, I think Ewan mentioned it at the weekend, and here we go. It is evidence of that. I mean, that's probably ball of the season so far. And the touch finish, he made that look easy. It was far from it. Was it far from it? And then, but like the timing of it was excellent as well, because Leicester had taken the lead, let it slip. Bit of sloppiness. Blackburn, you know, sort of picked up on that. It got boosted their confidence, and they were making a game of it, as they did in the second half. In fairness, you know, 4-1, a slightly misleading scoreline, you'd have to say. Although I always felt that if it was going to be a counter-attacking shootout, you know, end to end, see who fares the best and scores the most, I always felt that Leicester would have the upper hand. You know, they have that extra quality. They'll be more proficient, but Blackburn were a little bit wasteful when they did get opportunities, as a few teams have been in this division so far. So I wouldn't say Leicester have got off the hook a few times, but it's been a bit closer than perhaps the end result has shown. But Leicester, sooner or later, seems as if they're going to punish the opposition every game.
This is a good example, Ewan, wasn't it? Really good save from Hermanson, of course, and then the block from Vestergaard.
That's a magnificent save at 2-1, Dan. That goes in. I'm not saying it would have been a different story, but it's 2-2. You're going into the last 15 minutes. You know, yeah, we sort of pointed out the error that he made for Blackburn's goal. You know, playing out the back, and we totally understand that's the philosophy that Enzo's brought in. That's the way he wants his goalkeeper to play. That's why he's brought Mads Hermansen into the team, because he's ever so comfortable with the ball at his feet. He more than made up with it for that save. That goes in 2-2. You know, anything could have happened, and I think it was only about 5 or 6 minutes later then we went forward and scored the penalty. I'm thinking, another counter-attacking goal was the 4th, where indeed he's won it in Leicester's half. He's fed Eunice, who's carried it forward and put a great pass through for Dewsbury Hall to finish superbly.
A man who's been in fantastic form at the start of this season.
I mean, he's scored 2 great goals. He looks too comfortable. He looks a little bit like Leicester for me, that he's got at least 2 gears to go up to, or to go into if needs be. I mean, they haven't needed to in every single game at the minute, but I mean, at the minute they're looking really comfortable.
Yeah, it's really, really lovely finish, that, wasn't it? From okay, he's only his 3rd goal of the season. He's got a number of assists, and he's ran a lot of games actually in that midfield.
Yeah, oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, he's looking, you know, increasingly impressive. But Leicester have got that throughout the team, really. You know, Wilfred Ndidi, he's a real hound. I know it's not his orthodox position, but he's a real handful to play against. Keenan Dewsbury Hall has that probably extra quality to Wilfred, and Wilfred has other attributes, but he's making the most of his time in that position, and you know, really testing out the opposition. The athleticism and the endurance of the 2 of them is difficult to handle over the course of 90+ minutes. And then you've got the 2 boys out wide, which is looking a bit like, you know, he's got a first team in his mind, Maresca now. Fatawu and Mavadidi out wide. and probably his first choice. Wide players for now, mind you, saying that McAteer rotated, justified as well, but they're such a threat between them. If it's not one, it's another, and if it's not him, it's someone else. Vardy, Iheanacho, Daka, there's 3 options centre forward. Not many other teams have got, well, I don't think any team's got that luxury in this division. Connor Cody coming in tonight, Vestergaard out, international for international.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Plenty of options. Leicester, of course, scored 4 at the weekend. Tonight's opponents, Preston, conceded 4 at home to West Bromwich Albion. And in the week, Enzo Maresca has been talking about the Lancashire side.
They are a team that they defend very well. They defend with 5-4-1, 2 line of 5 and 4. So 9 players always. Also the striker help a lot. So will be a game where we need to be patient and thinking that as many times already happened, we can win the game also in the last 20, half an hour, 10 minutes, because won't be easy. They're gonna be there defending all together, and we need to be patient, continue.
As you mentioned, they do sit in quite deep when they're defending in those resolute blocks, but from an attacking wise, what kind of
no.
do you have to be wary of?
No, absolutely. They attack very good. They move the ball. They try to switch the ball many times. They won many games already. They start very good, fantastic, and it's one of probably the club or the team that with the Ipswich probably they start perfect.
You've played a lot of away games so far, it feels. I think 8 on the road so far this season. How good will it be to be back at King Power Stadium?
Finally. Yeah, finally. 2 games in a row. The last 5 games we play 4 away. So, yeah, it will be good to play with our fans at home.
And what role might the fans have to play, I guess, over the next couple of games before the international break?
I said after Blackburn game, especially tomorrow, it's an important game. I guess an important in this moment opponent, and we need them to support us from the beginning until the end, like already happened always.
Will a game against Preston be your toughest opponent yet? If you look at the league table, because they're third, it would suggest they are, but do you think they will be your toughest test?
But for sure will be tough. I don't know if it will be the toughest test. For sure, 100% the toughest test for us was Blackburn. I said after the game. Now, tomorrow game could be, yes, for sure.
That was Enzo Maresca there speaking ahead of this game against Preston this evening. Probably a surprise, actually, Ewan, that they did concede 4 at the weekend at home to West Brom. Before that, they'd only conceded 6 in the league.
Yeah, I think before that game, Leicester and Preston are the best defensive records in the Championship. I mean, I didn't see that result coming, especially at Deepdale. But you look at West Brom, I mean, they had a great result at Deepdale. I think they won again last night. They're all of a sudden come from nowhere to 5th in the division. That's the nature of the Championship. I mean, last season, and I think I was speaking on Monday night with you two lads, they scored 2 goals in their opening 7 games last season. But they didn't lose a game. They didn't concede any, and that's how Ryan Lowe, who's done a fantastic job there. He hasn't had much money. You know, he's begged and borrowed and got players in on loan. They're very defensively, even though obviously that scoreline Saturday would suggest they weren't at their best. Obviously, you know, he did a good job at Bury, got them promoted to League One. Did a similar job at Plymouth. You know, started the revolution there, and they're now playing in the Championship. They're a hard nut to crack at times. They'll come here, they'll have a game plan, they'll sit deep. They have got a little bit of pace, especially with the lad Potts down the right-hand side. You know, Robbie Brady, that little bit of experience. Don't be conceding too many free kicks in your own final third, because he has got the quality with his set-piece delivery to put balls into a dangerous area. And there's nothing worse than when you've been humiliated at home 4-0. You know you're going to get a reaction, and I think we will get a reaction from Preston tonight. But saying that, I still think Leicester will have far too much for them.
Yeah, it's a very good point, actually, that you even look at even their last 5 results, the 3 wins, the draw away from home, and then just out of nowhere, that
and beaten away from home and conceded 2 goals away from home. So that shows sort of the way that they go about things when they're on the road.
It happens though. I mean, you know, occasionally you have that blip. I think generally through the course of the season, for the reasons that you mentioned there, you know, Preston will be run a pretty tight ship, but occasionally it's fine lines, and sometimes those lines, I don't know, get crossed or get broken, whichever way you want to look at it, and things go slightly awry. But it's getting back in the saddle basically, and doing what you know you're good at, which they're going to attempt to do tonight. But listen, you can look at it two ways. I think if I'm a Leicester player, I look at it and think, what a good time for Preston to lose 4-0.
Is that how? Yeah, because
I would. You can't always be sceptical of the opposition. You have, you know, confidence and belief in yourself, your team, and your teammates around you, and go, listen, not being blasé at all. I'm not saying take it easy, but rather than thinking, you know, like Preston had won 4-0 against West Brom, you think, right, these lot know what they're on about. Right, we've got our hands full tonight. We're going to have to be a little bit careful, which they are, but. To me, it sort of hands the initiative to Leicester to sort of go, right, come on, let's go and test them out. Because I don't care who you are, if you lost 4-0 at the weekend and you've got 5 or 6 Leicester players coming flying at you in the form they are, if they play that way positively, then all of a sudden they're going to be, hang on a minute, we're in for another tough night here. They're going to have to be real strong characters and really well organised to deal with that. So I think there's an opportunity there for Leicester, but at the same time, you know, you're aware of what they're capable of, but one thing will be interesting to see if Leicester, how they break down at the back three, back five, because it hasn't been straightforward so far this season.
I mean, I'm surprised that he's made so many changes. It looks to me as if he's panicked after what happened on
Saturday.
Saturday.
If you've been happy with the rest of it, up till then, you're like, well, it's not normally too much wrong, but you must have seen a lot wrong at the weekend.
That back five has probably played the most minutes for Preston in that defensive unit this season, and we've already spoken about the strength and the goals that they haven't conceded, and the clean sheets that they've kept. You know, Freddie Woodman, I spoke to you the other day, is one of the best goalkeepers in the division. I'm surprised that coming to Leicester, he's made so many changes after sort of just one bad blip.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how tonight goes. As we've already said, you can watch all of the action with us tonight on Matchday Live on Fox's Hub for the first time this season. If you're in the UK, you can watch it anywhere in the world, that is, as well. You can get a game pass just for tonight's game. There are also monthly passes and seasonal passes available, but if you do just want to watch tonight's game, all the details on how much it'll cost and how you can get it, you can head to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Also on Fox's Hub, that's the place that you can go and look at some of the best goals scored in September in a Leicester City shirt. You can pick your favourite and also vote on the website.
Look at that from Amini Richards. It's brilliant work from the number 7. And he's going to find Maswanise. It's a big chance for Leicester. And a second goal for Leicester. Maswanise scored 8 goals in the Premier League 2 last season. Marcel. Beautifully done. Oh, and still, when he goes, they can't stop him. Wanya Marcel. What a goal this would be. Oh, it's absolutely tremendous. Stunning stuff from Wanya Marcel to put Leicester City ahead. All his own work. What a goal from the young Portuguese. He's been impressing with the first team this season. He's back with the under-21s tonight, and he is back with a goal, and one of real quality.
We're underway. Shea Adams rolling it back into midfield. Southampton, as we look at it, kicking from left to right towards the northern stand where the Leicester fans are. They're in their traditional red and white shirts, black shorts, white socks. And here is Jamie Vardy on the edge of the box into Mavididi. Chances for Leicester very early on. Back to Vardy, who scores sensationally. 21 seconds on the clock. What an extraordinary beginning. He got a hat-trick here in the 9-0 win, and he's off and running already. Vardy into the 11, wearing the captain's armband. He slammed it home from around the penalty spot. Walker Peters has given it away. What a pass! Leicester are in for 2. Fantastic goal! Finished off gloriously by Casey McAteer, but made by Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. One of the passes of the season so far. He cut through Southampton. McAteer makes it 2-0 after 18 minutes. What a start! One up towards Mavididi. That's a lovely first-time ball to Winks. Winks back to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Down this left-hand side where Leicester have been really good tonight. We've had 2 of the 3 additional minutes at St Mary's. Here's Mavididi, goes beyond his man Edozie, gets to the edge of the box, slips in Ndidi. Ndidi, lovely fake to shoot, and then the finish from Wilfred Ndidi. Leicester scored after 20-odd seconds of this first half. And with 30 seconds left to go, they've done so once more. What a finish from Wilfred Ndidi. Finished that like a seasoned centre forward. And it's Southampton 1, Leicester 3. Take on McAteer, teasing him, twisting one way then the other, but he stood firm and then he's given it away to Mavididi, who gets beyond Smallbone, and he's in here, and he's got support. It's Mavididi with Dewsbury-Hall up alongside him. He goes for goal, and this time he scores. Mavididi gets his goal. Leicester have their 4th, and surely now it's going to be 5 wins from 6 to start life in the Championship.
Crazy scenes, crazy situation there. The Southampton pushing and probing.
Morrison. Oh, it's loose. And Wanya Marçal has managed to get around his man. Morrison backpedaling. Marçal attacking. Looking for that strike on his left, no doubt. He's still going. This is Wanya Marçal for Leicester. Now Reiki, who pulls the trigger and finds the top corner. Well, Arjen Reiki has just fizzed an effort beyond Sam Tickle to hand Leicester the lead. They've stayed disciplined, they've worked hard, and they've got their reward. As after half an hour, Arjen Reiki has lifted his head and hit the spot.
Gathered around the penalty spot as it's whipped in, and Stolarczyk had to react quickly there. Not sure if that was caught in the wind, but he came and he punched it clear, and the ball has broken to Younis coming over the halfway line. For a moment it was 2 against 2 as Younis slides the ball brilliantly to Casey McAteer. Leicester's top scorer has delivered another goal inside the first 2 minutes of this game at the Kop end of the ground. Younis keeping his cool and sliding the ball into the penalty area, where McAteer, full of goals, full of confidence, just steadied himself and right-footed just passed the ball into the opposite corner beyond Kelleher.
All you need to do there is pick your favourite all those goals scored in September, of course. Tonight on the field, Enzo Maresca has made 1 change. That was forced. Yannick Vestergaard misses out through suspension. In comes Conor Cody for his first league start. And as you can see, we've made 1 change here in the studio as well. Matt Elliott goes out. The casual Matt Elliott goes out. And we've got Guillaume Balaguer, of course, football journalist, who joins us. From the heights of rubbing shoulders with Jude Bellingham last night in Napoli to rubbing shoulders with Ewan Roberts tonight here in the studio. Welcome along. It's a real pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever replaced a former professional, so it's a bit of a luxury to do that. And Matt's as well, a legend.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll do a better job and definitely pull off the shirt better than Matt could have done anyway. Listen, you've obviously kept a really close eye on Leicester this season, haven't you? We saw the feature that you did with Enzo at the beginning of the season, that interview, really fascinating. And great to hear actually properly for the first time from Enzo what he was going to give to Leicester City and give to these supporters.
Yeah, at that time he had perhaps more questions than answers. He needed to know you all, he needed to know who he could ask what and where to get the stuff that he needed. He was still, finding a house from there to really see which players were with him. So that was the beginning of the journey. Since then, what you've got is somebody that has been surprised by the attitude of the players, many of which, as you know, did not want to leave because all of a sudden it was like, Enzo's coming. this way of playing that you saw in some of these goals is coming. They wanted to be part of it. But the biggest thing that he's done, and he did that from day one, is he was very big on changing the mentality. While he was trying to find out where he was, one thing that he was for sure trying to do is to find everybody's reaction that he found in the big clubs that he was in. He wanted the same.
In terms of the players themselves, is that?
Players, and you, and everybody else. He wanted everybody to help, but he wanted everybody to have a winning mentality, which I think, in a way, even though Leicester and Brendan Rodgers especially became a big club, no doubt about that, but perhaps at the end, the essence that makes you a winning side was abandoned. It was more a reactive team, a reactive players, lacking of confidence, all that. And of course, not only Enzo Maresca, Willy Caballero, they've been in big clubs. And you walk into a big club and you know the way everybody stands, the way everybody wears the shirt, the way everybody speaks, the way everybody trains, the way everybody competes in training, competes as off training. He wanted that. And he started creating a lot of little games, competitions, penalty shootouts, or small-sided games, and the winners will be really well rewarded. And there was no fun. There was fun, but they weren't funny just games. They weren't just to entertain yourself. It was to win and to create that mentality. He was very, very big on that, and I think you've seen the consequences of it. There was a lot of work put on individual performances, because he's very big on thinking, a team has to play well, but what makes this team play well is how well the individuals take the decisions. If they take more good decisions than bad decisions, the team gets better. And he's worked really closely with individuals to actually make them better and to understand this style that I would say 90% of the time, or 90% of the players, had not played before, and yet have adapted so quickly.
Has it surprised you, Gilliam, how quickly the players have adapted? I'm thinking of two in key areas, the two central defenders, Fass, and especially Yannick Vestergaard, who was frozen out for whatever reason last season. Everybody thought his Leicester career was over and done with. He's been given an opportunity from Enzo. He's grabbed it with both hands, and he's been absolutely magnificent.
Vestergaard and Fass, they are Premier League players, aren't they not? They are. And tell me which Premier League centre-back cannot play from the back, if you tell them to. Most can. They're able to. It's not just playing from the back. You actually have to absorb pressure, and the rivals have to get close, and you don't be scared. And if you lose it, it's the manager's fault, and all those kind of things that have been put in their heads in a style that's completely different. There may have been doubts. Can they do it? But I think that they were answered very quickly. And in the case of Vestergaard, it was somebody that actually has added a lot of character and personality to the team. I think Cody, Harry Winks, and him are three leaders, as well as Albrighton and Vardy, who were superb at the beginning of the season, playing 10-15 minutes, and yet training hard, and when they come on making a difference, they led that way. But these three have been important for the team, because they've asked him, some of them are doing things that they weren't doing before. They're doing it very well, because they add in personality and leadership.
One fascinating thing that I picked up from Guillaume there was, at the weekend, for example, Mads Hermansen with the ball out. Many people would question that pass that led to the goal that Blackburn scored. Of course, immediately at full time, Enzo Maresca came out, spoke to our commentator and said, yep, that's my fault. That will happen. That's the way that we play. We just need to get used to that. That occasionally it may go wrong. But he took the full blame, and that took any spotlight away from either Harry Winks or Mads Hermansen. It
takes the pressure off your goalkeeper to start with. He came out. He took full responsibility. That's his philosophy. That's his process. That's the way he wants his team to play. Yeah, it's risk and reward at times. I don't think it's going to be the last time that Leicester concede from playing out the back, but that's how Enzo wants them to. And we've seen sort of instances, and I'm sure you're going to show them a bit later, of goals playing out the back. The one at Southampton was 33, 34 passes, and indeed he finishes it superbly. It's fantastic to watch. But it was great to hear straight away the first thing he said in his post-match interview? That it takes full responsibility for the goal that Leicester conceded, because that's the way he wants his goalkeeper to play. That's why he's brought Mads Hermansen to the football club.
4-1, wasn't it?
Yes.
Blackburn, and it was the most deceiving result of the season.
A little bit, yeah.
And I think they were in awe, everybody, all the coaching staff, of what Blackburn were trying to do, because not only they were marking in a lot part of the pitch, but they were completely difficult to see a pattern. So you will have full-backs coming inside, you'll have forwards going wide, you'll have wingers coming inside, and they loved playing them. And they came out of that game thinking, we didn't deserve the 4-1, but we maybe deserved the victory, but not certainly not 4-1. And that was a sign of humbleness, sure, but also of admission that it's still not perfect. That to actually win clearly these kind of games against teams that propose something different is not there yet fully. But the results are coming. And we were saying earlier off camera, when you win, you are handsomer, more intelligent, all the decisions are right. It masks other things. I think they're talking about being 40-50% of what Leicester City can be. That means they can do this double.
Well, I mean that's frightening. We're just seeing the Wilfred Ndidi goal at Southampton, the 33 passes. If that's only 40-50%, then what 100% will be when it gets to that is very exciting.
There was I think Enzo was on a podcast about 3-4 weeks ago. They had a flying start, scoring goals for fun, 100% record away from home, as they still have. And the question was asked, how far down the journey are you now with the team? He said, about 10-20%. And we're thinking, God, there's so much more to come. And flying top of the league, it's been an unbelievable start. And I think the Leicester fans are enjoying every single second of it.
Yeah, I think obviously that the supporters is an interesting topic to bring up, because it will take time, won't it, to get used to this completely new style. I'm sure it did it at Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, whoever it might be. Your fullback suddenly playing as another central midfielder, that takes some getting used to. They're playing out from the back. And I remember an example away at Norwich, I think it was, where they just beat the press. Norwich really pressed them, and suddenly they were out. And that was about 15 minutes to go, 1-0 up. You'd think normally you hit it long, but that's not the way that Leicester play, and maybe that will take a little bit of getting used to. But it's exciting to watch, by the way.
It is. It's risky, but I think answers all of the thinking that you play like you leave, and why play with the fear of losing something when actually you can play with the wish of actually winning something, and he's got that kind of mentality. But I was here in the defeat of the season, and that was just before the international break, and the kind of comments I was hearing on the way out was about not fully understanding what is being done. And that education to the fans is something that he's taking very seriously. I think he wants them to know, by the way, this is how we're going to do it, but I'll tell you why. And he's doing a lot of effort into explaining and repeating himself and trying to see if eventually, not all of you will get it, but the ones that will, maybe they will explain to the others that what's been tried. And what's been tried is very simple. Why do you play the ball in what people would say too slowly at the back? Because you try to absorb pressure. But one thing is absorbing pressure. The other thing is what he's asking the centre-backs to do. It's like, risk it. Get them closer, because the closer you get them, the more space gets created somewhere else. You beat that pressure, and they've got 20 ways of doing that. And you do it from your heart, and you do it with confidence and with quality, and then the space gets created, and then you kill anybody. And even though and this is interesting for the Championship, and perhaps a surprise to Enzo Maresca, that every team almost proposed something different. I think today will be a deep defending side, and that perhaps it will be the hardest to beat. But in any case, there's been all kinds of attacks to different defenses, and they have to prepare for it. But it stems from the same idea. Just keep possession, absorb that pressure, and things will happen. You have to be patient. It will happen. But he's asking for patience, not just to the players. He's asking for patience to everybody else.
I mean, he's seen a player who is probably renowned for being a defensive midfield player throughout his career in Wilfred Ndidi. All of a sudden, Enzo's seen something in him in training. He's given him a freer role. He's taken the reins off him. He's causing havoc with his energy and the goals that he's scoring. He created Jamie Vardy's goal, Leicester's second at Blackburn on Sunday. I mean, it's remarkable.
So tell me how hard it is. And this has been found by people that want to play a way that is completely different to what the usual. Pep Guardiola, for instance. How hard it is if when you are 27, 28, a new manager comes in and says, you know, this is what you do, I've seen you do this, I want you to do this other thing. The first reaction will be like,
I can't do that.
I'll say yes, but I won't do that.
Should have got that in the locker.
That's it. So he's got to tell you individually with videos as he's doing, no, you can. Come on, do it again. And again, I got it wrong. Just keep doing it, get it wrong. But to change at that stage in your career, I'm thinking of Ndidi. It's not easy.
Yeah. What's impressed me as well, I mean, we speak about it a lot, the Championship, it's ruthless. It's Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. You throw the EFL Cup in and had a good run in that competition as well. I bet he hasn't had as much time as he would have liked on the training pitch because the games are big. I mean, was it seven games in 18 days in this really busy period?
One, the pre-season wasn't great either.
With the games that got...
So
you know, it's remarkable the work that's been done in such a short space of time.
Agreed.
Let's actually hear him. We've been talking about Wilfred Ndidi. He's spoken to our commentator tonight, Chris Parrott, around about an hour ago. Let's hear from, the man of the moment then, Wilfred Ndidi.
Night in the Championship, how much are you looking forward to being back at home?
Yeah, it's amazing feeling to be back at home, and then we're looking forward to this one because it's very, very important. We know what we want to do, so it's very important for us. Yeah.
What sort of test are you expecting from Preston?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, as I said earlier. They're a good team, and they want to come here for a win. So we're actually ready for it, you know, because it is so important for us because of the points and the position on the table. So we think we can actually get this one also.
Yeah, a win will take you back top and 7 points clear of third. Is it too early for you to look at the table yet, or as a squad are you looking at that?
I think for us it's just the game. We're looking to looking towards the games, and this one is the most important for us at the moment, and before we look the next one, you know, but this one is the most important right now.
That was Wilfred Ndidi there previewing tonight's game with Preston North End. It's a game that is available for you to watch fully here on Matchday Live on Fox's Hub. The Game Pass this evening is worth £10 to watch the game, and the way that Guillaume Balaguer has been talking up Leicester City this season, that is more than worth it, hopefully, to see the 9th win out of 10 at the start of this season. For all the details and to get that video pass, all you need to do is head onto Fox's Hub. We've got Ewan Roberts and Guillaume Balaguer with us as we build up now to kick off another big game. As I've just said there, a chance to go 9 wins from 10 at the start of the league season. Never been done in the Championship, which is
that right?
Be an unbelievable,
so that would be a first.
Yeah.
Okay. Massive, massive. But I'll do what Enzo did after a whole run of wins, and everybody was talking up Leicester. I'll do it with you. If I could, I will show you a video of the end of last season and how poorly the team played, how conservative and reactive the team was, how many mistakes the players did. That's what he did after 5 or 6 wins, whatever it was. He put a video to the players and says, this is us.
Wow.
We're in the same shirt, the same players, most of them are still here, so just don't fall asleep. And with one of your colleagues, Sam, we were talking about, well, you know, that record, and of course, you know, it's Ipswich Preston at the weekend, isn't it? So Ipswich lose and you beat Preston today, and then stop it, stop it, not yet. I mean, there's still a long time to go, but certainly the more, and this is something I've discussed with Enzo in the same sentence that he has repeated on since then, the more you win, the closer you are of losing. So you have to just be careful of repeating and what you do well and the essence of what you do well, because as soon as you drop a little bit, the Championship finds you out. So let's see.
Well, thank you very much, Guillaume, for coming on and joining us this evening. Thanks as ever. Ewan will be on again at half-time and at full-time. Of course, but hopefully we'll be speaking about another Leicester City victory. As we've already said, tonight's game is available to you to watch on Fox's Hub. Here are all the details of how you can find that. And next up, we have got the full game available for you.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Fox's Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Fox's Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Fox's Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com.